Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Man of the 21st Century. We are at home. We are at home recording right now.
Man. You said man. You have to see men. Men.
Yes, man. I'm not man. Yeah, do that, man.
He's on you. He's on you. He's on you.
Oh, fam. Okay. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Men of the 21st Century. Yeah. We are live today. We're all at home. As you know, we're in the second lockdown. However, we are here to continue to give you more content because that's what we're all about. Okay. Today's topic, we're going to discuss, can your partner have a male best friend? That's the topic that we're going to discuss today. But before we start, let's make sure we introduce ourselves. As you know, me, I'll keep it real short. It's your boy Webbs.
Yep. It's your boy Marvs.
Do you know what's funny? It's your boy Daniel. It's your boy Daniel.
Come on, and we leave the best till last. Special K A done now. Let's see.
As you can see, it's all a bit mad because we're recording from home. But like we said, we're here to give you more content. So, man, how do we feel about, your wife having a male best friend?
Best friend? That's not on.
Too short.
Why? You know what? Why?
Just like that.
I'm supposed to be the best friend. So, what's another guy doing in the picture in terms of, that guy being her best friend? That doesn't make sense to me. What do you mean by
friends before you?
What do you mean? No, it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean? You guys are
the person was there before you. Like the
fam. So what you think? Yeah. They can't just be cut out.
It doesn't change the fact that I'm now the husband. Okay? I'm not I'm the husband. If they have something so special and unbreakable, why didn't they get married?
Ooh. You're moving mad.
What?
That is crazy.
So everyone has to marry their best friend.
Yeah, of course you have to marry your best friend.
Yeah, but you can have more than one best friend, though, innit?
Yeah, word.
Nah, I don't believe him. Nah, more than one best friend. Someone always have that.
What? All right, let's deep it first, because Charles might be on another realm.
He's on another level.
What is a best friend? Because now we need to define that. If we really deep it, then maybe we see, all right, cool. Charles is really on another. Like, what is Charles to you? What's like a best friend?
A best friend is someone that you confide in.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever you're going through, you can actually pick up the phone and call that person.
Mm-hmm.
You can depend on that person to be there for you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to me, if my wife has that type of relationship with another man, I feel like what makes me different then from that guy?
In other words, you're made redundant. So you don't want... Okay.
Exactly. So like, throughout my whole entire marriage, I am competing with another guy, and that shouldn't be the case.
But it's not. I don't think it's a competition, though.
Yeah.
No, but Webbs, what do you define as a best friend? Because I think that's what we need to know. Because Charles is talking about confining the person, and that person's there for you no matter what.
Yeah, I believe though it's like you said, Daniel. Yeah, where there is someone there that was, your partner's friend before you came into the picture. So let's be honest, before you met your wife, she has gone through certain things, and maybe that person was there to help her. That does not mean they have a relationship where they're now going to get married. Far from it. It doesn't have to be like that. Okay? I know our wives are best friends. Sure, that's the person we see almost every day. That's the person we go to sleep with. That's the person you wake up next to. Of course, they're your best friend, but let's remember the people that were there for her in the past. You can't just cut off those people because that's mad. For a husband to come in, and then to tell your wife, your male best friend, that cut him.
Cut him off.
Yeah. I mean, I think with what Charles is saying, maybe there might have been something that happened before. Maybe that's why we're cutting it off. But to me, if you have a best friend, or my wife has a male best friend, they never have gone to that level. They've just been best friends. There was nothing, what's the word I'm looking for? There was nothing physical. Do you get what I'm saying? There was nothing physical. There's no physical attachment. Yeah. There is no emotional attachment beyond being a best friend. As long as that understanding's there, and that's what happened before, and then I don't think there's an issue.
Yeah.
Let me touch. Like you said, there's no emotional attachment, but you do have an emotional attachment with your friend.
No, I said there's an emotional attachment, but there's a level of emotional attachment. Like if we're talking about emotional attachment in terms of our wives now and us being their best friend, that's another level of emotional attachment. That's more than a best friend. Okay, they're our best friend, but that's more than a best friend. But if we're talking about people they grew up with, of course, like I said before, there's people they've grown up with that they keep a relationship with because they've been through certain things together. So there's always that emotional attachment, but it's at a certain level and it doesn't go beyond them being a best friend. And as long as that's the understanding and that's where they come from, or that's how they're best friends, then I don't think there's an issue.
Yeah, but obviously, there's certain men that might be waiting and praying for your downfall. You know what I mean? You know the ones they're waiting for that opportunity. But you know the ones there. Say like you two argue now, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to David." Like, why go? Who's David? Like, you know the ones there. Just throwing out names, like. So obviously, I get what Charles is saying. Yeah,
I get what Charles is saying. Do you know what I mean? Because it's more like like you confide in the person really knows you. It's like, then Charles is like basically saying, what role do I have? However, I do feel like your role is deeper than that. Like if you're with your wife, should I say, that you know your wife deeper than a best friend. So even though they're a best friend, bro, they can never compete with a husband because it's like, bro, you're
wait, Daniel, throw that back. Repeat that, please. So the fans hear it.
I can't even remember what I said, but all I'm saying is, you're never going to be in a competition with the best friend because you're like seeing your wife every day, bro. Like you can know what she's doing. You can even, at the back of your hand, you can tell what this person is doing. And I feel like sometimes also having like another outlet is good. I think it's good. Like I'm basing it off this because I've seen, like, let's say growing up, like, you know, certain aunties and that they never had that person that they're confined in, and things are going wrong at home. They can't speak to no one about it, and it's just draining them, depressing them. I think
speak to your pastor.
Trust me.
That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, why should it be easier to speak to your pastor when there's someone that you know can really give you sound advice? And you've grown up with a person like me. I've got so many people that I've grown up with, but of course, I'm very selective who I talk to, innit? And sometimes it's good in the same way my wife has that as well. I think it just depends on the balance. Obviously, when the person starts saying, "Oh, I know your wife more than you," and that's when you know that person needs to relax. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I feel like it will always get to that stage where, like, boundaries might be pushed. Do you get it? Because your best friend, your wife's best friend might think that, okay, this person's my best friend, so I have every right to get involved in you lot's business, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the intent, though.
That cannot happen. You know, that cannot happen. And like, when you think about it, right? If our wives had that type of relationship with other guys, I mean, the only difference you mentioned, that okay, we see our wives every day, blah 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 blah, but the fact is, they still have some sort of emotional connection to another man. Right, like no matter how many times.
Because when you're saying your emotional connection, it's very like Charles. Like what's emotional connection?
Emotional connection.
I feel like we're all emotionally connected to each other now.
I understand that, but the fact is, like we try to make it seem like a man and a man's friendship is the same as a man and a woman. No.
Yeah.
Like, say you've been friends with a woman from a young age, nothing has happened. Been cool, it's been platonic. It gets to a stage where, like, okay, you start to think about relationships now, and automatically you think of your best friend. Like, you know, I've been friends with this girl, we get on, everything is nice. Why is it that me and this person are not getting together on that level? So things start to play in your mind. Okay, the person that's the closest to you is the one that you start to consider. Do you get it? So so at the stage that I'm now married to my wife, and she still has a best. To me, it is weird. Why is it your best friend first? Why is it that you think that's the best friend?
No,
he's
but
feeling
I'll be honest. Charles, you're coming from an old school mentality, man.
Bro, he is. I'm telling you, bro. Like, you see Charles here. You can tell Charles has got trust issues, blood. Like,
man.
Because I get what you're saying, yeah. But, bro, let's be honest, yeah. I'm sure Danny, because I know Dan. I'm sure Danny will agree, because I know he's got. We're talking about. Let's take it. Let's go. Let's take it us, yeah. I have female best friends, and like you said, yeah, there's female. But wait, let me finish. But you're saying that after a while you start thinking about, this person, you know, they look like someone that I may be able to get in a relationship with. Not all people think like that, you know.
Yeah.
Not all people have that mindset, bro. I'll be real with you, because if I'm talking from my perspective, I know we're talking about our wives here, but. My wife has male best friends. I have female best friends. Bro, those female best friends that are in my life right now, I have never, ever looked at them more than a sister figure. Ever. Because that's just how we grew up. That's the mindset that was there from the beginning and from the get-go. That's all it ever was. And I think a lot of people can have that mindset. Now, what you're saying may be right, because there's other people that, you know, don't find a person that they're, you know, on their level in terms of an emotional attachment, or, you know, the way they feel about someone. So then they start thinking about, you know what? Why don't I try something with my best friend? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's where it comes from, when they're not able to find someone that's on their level emotionally, or someone on their level in terms of who they grow up with, or someone that understands them. Maybe that's where that comes from.
Webbs, though, at the same time, not everyone's a gentleman like you know. So there's certain men, there's 70s out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, obviously,
the thing is, Kofi, I was going to say even as well, what you're saying makes sense. And what Charles actually saying makes sense, yeah? Because I'm seeing it as a bigger picture. Human beings' feelings are unpredictable, bro.
Unpredictable.
Yeah? Like it's unpredictable. So we can't be ignorant of that. That's what Charles is basically saying. So to avoid that, don't have it. That's what Charles is saying. And I get that.
Prevention is better than cure.
At the same time, if you're stable and happy and in a solid relationship, it will only be a fool to have feelings for another person, bro.
Hey.
Oh, bro. Like,
no, you have to be careful, bro.
Bro, don't you hear bad stories about people?
I hear them. That's what I'm saying. But they're not happy, bro. They're not stable.
They get caught up in the moment.
But they're not stable, though.
No,
they get caught up in the moment, isn't it?
Bro, like, it's like saying this, yeah? It's like saying this, like, we're all Christians, right? We're all believes in, like, temptation, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Bible talks about flee away from temptation. You might think that you can handle it. Okay, like, let me go here. I can handle it. If anything comes, I've got self-control. But the fact is, bro, you don't know until you find yourself in that situation. Hence why we advise to flee. Do you get it? So when it comes to emotions, I think emotions are very, very deep. We don't realize how attached we are to a person until it gets to like these kind of conversations and we start saying that, nah, but I can't stop being friends with that person. That's a clear indication. When someone tells you to move away from that person and you start arguing that, no, this blah, blah. That's clear then, that you have some sort of...
mad, isn't it?
Okay, but can I just...
Am I lying though?
No, you're... No, but...
Indication.
Yeah, Charles, you're right, yeah. But what I will say is though, yeah, is that our wives are best friends, yeah, and our wives' best friends are us, yeah? So, what I will say is, if you're a man that confides in your best friend about what's going on in your household, that's when it'll start going left.
Very wrong. Yeah.
The moment you do that, it will start going left because you're letting your best friend or supposedly best friend, you're letting them know what's going on in your household, which is not what they're supposed to know. The person you solve that situation with, or the person you should confide in, is your best friend, who is your wife or husband. And that's it. That's the end of story. If it goes anything beyond that, I think that's where you're right. The temptation, the conversation, the emotions, it all goes away from being a best friend because you're starting to confide in someone that you're very close to, and you're talking to them about your relationship and your problems regarding your supposed other best friend, and that shouldn't be happening. And I think that's where the problem is.
But even Webbs, as you're saying that as well, just let's think about the best friend's perspective as well. They're thinking that your wife is their best friend as well, so you're meant to be there for me at the same time. Now, let's say obviously I'm going through a situation, and I call your wife, and then I say, "Oh, I need to see you right now. Like, I need you to come. I'm in emergency. Come and see me." And then you, the husband,
you the craze.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna tell me as the best friend, your wife should come and help me out? No, you know what you're telling me. That's why they can't no best friend thing like that, because there's limits to this. You know what I mean? We can't put them in a situation where they have to choose between my husband or my best friend. Like, who do I choose? Like, because that's a whole other ball game, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
with that situation though, you see, in a scenario like that, really and truly, like if you're a married man, and you have a best friend, right, that best friend needs to get on with your person that you're with. So if a situation like that is, my head is hot, I need to come and see you guys, I'm not coming to see you, the language needs to change. That's what I'm saying. I feel like what Charles is saying is very true. You know, when some people are disregarding the person that you're with, or like they're not acknowledging the fact that you're with someone and it's a union, I think those people that you have to be careful of, innit? Because what they're really trying to do is put a line to say, I've known you longer, you have to, do you get it? But if it's like together, like, okay, if you can't get hold of me, you should be calm enough to pick up the phone and speak to my wife and be like, do you know what? That's when you know that's like respect, and it's like, but everyone's comfortable with it. That's what I think. And that's what I'm saying with Charles's one. I think Charles is basing it on the fact that when that person doesn't have access to him and only has access to the partner he has, and it's like he's not allowed to know anything or
that best friend,
you know what I'm trying to say, then it's just like, okay, so me or them, like that type of thing.
Exactly.
And so that's what I'm getting from what Charles is saying, really.
Yeah. Because even at the same time, obviously, I remember we were speaking about basically a wife ordered some food for her husband, and then the husband's best friend changed the order because she was like, no, he doesn't like that. He likes this instead, isn't it?
But that's all crazy though. I can't lie to you, that is crazy. That's mad.
To the same restaurant, and it's like, oh, which order does he like? Like, because obviously he's got one with his wife, and he's got one with a friend, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I think what you're touching on, Kofi, is where I would say is there's boundaries. Boundaries have to be set from the person that's in the marriage. Like,
there's no boundaries in friendship, though.
Of course. Because what I'm saying is, obviously,
they're supposed to be your best friend. So why do you set boundaries with your best friend?
No, but what I'm trying to say is that where Kofi's talking about this best friend's now telling the wife about what they should order, that should never happen, because the man should have set the boundary to say that, yo, like, when it comes to this stuff, this is what my wife deals with, innit? Like, cool, you're my dog, you're my best friend, we're homies, but stuff like this, my wife handles that stuff, so you better relax, innit? And that's where you set the tone. I think the tone has to be set from the person in the marriage. The moment you start allowing things to happen, you're giving the other person, your other best friend, ammunition, or you're opening a door for things to happen, and you're allowing trouble to come in, when really you can shut the door from the get-go.
Well,
I think as well,
I think there should be restrictions, and if so, what type of restrictions are we talking about here?
And that's what I was even going to touch on. Yeah, I feel like if you have a best friend, yeah, and I use that very quote wise, and because there's always levels to what best friends are. like some people, like I feel like best friend is below sister. So for me, some people are like,
okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like for me, if you're a best friend, I could always cut you off. Like if I don't need, do you get it? But if you're like my sister, that's like family. So for me, I get that. But for me, I feel like when you're like when you have a best friend and that best friend is constantly trying to make it seem like they know what you want and so forth, and they're doing it in front of the person that you're with, bro, that person needs to get checked and that person needs to get cut off because all that person is really trying to do is awakening your partner's attention that I know them better than you. And now you're going home from a nice drive dinner. It's a long argument home. You don't need that.
Right.
You don't need that. And if anyone's going to bring that into your relationship, then that person really and truly, they need to know that they're never going to win. Look, I feel like when the competition starts is when things really go left for that best friend. Because ultimately, bro, I'm not going to ditch my wife for you. You know what I'm trying to say? But when you appreciate the person I'm with and you were together in a harmony where needed, then it makes sense. The relationship flourishes that way. But when you're like trying to disregard one and trying to awaken and no, he likes this seasoning. He doesn't like this. So I'm like, stop.
Put the Maggie in the Dilla for him.
That once you get into a relationship, your relationship with other females should slowly kind of distance itself anyways. If that's not happening, then don't you think that you're kind of not setting boundaries? Do you get it? Like I say, for example, like we were single and like we had like a female friend where we're close to. Nothing ever even happened between us. It's just been good vibes. Right? I'm married, right? And my level of relationship with that female friend is still the same. So this girl can call me at any time, be talking all that stuff. Don't you think that I haven't set good boundaries here? Because I think automatically, if you get into a relationship and you have, like a friendship with the opposite sex, automatically, you guys should start to not drift away as in stop talking, but there should be some sort of distance in the relationship as time goes on. So the fact that that distance is not even set and you're still referring to that person as a best friend, man, that's a red flag to me.
I agree. I agree, but I don't agree because before you go into marriage, with your partner, you should know everyone that's important in that person's life.
Right.
Simple. It's as simple as that because the moment that happens, then when you start, doing little things like going out for dinner, barbecues, phone calls, the FaceTimes, people are included. Your wife is included. Your husband's included. So automatically, the boundaries are already set because they know if I call Weber, if I call that person's wife, there's going to be a moment where they're going to be there. They're going to hear the conversation, or they're going to know what's going on.
There we go.
So it's not like your best friend's calling and then they're telling you, oh, you know what, this stays between me and you. No. The moment they say that, no, stop.
I expect that
because exactly the moment they say, oh yeah, this stays between me and you, that's not happening because my wife's gonna know everything that's going on.
There we go. Like me, you see
me.
It's
the other way around. It's the other way around though. Remember, it's your wife that's got the best friend.
Yeah, it's
the same. It's both the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, like my wife has got a best friend touching base in the house. That person should know that, bro, I'm gonna be hearing the conversation. Like, so if you're not comfortable with that, then it's entirely down to you to take your step. Because no, but it's true. Like, it's the reality.
It's that you don't mind the person calling anytime as much as they want, as you are in the conversation as well. Is
obviously, Charles, let me be honest, right? I'll be honest. If it's an emergency, I can't put a time frame to an emergency, right? Yeah. But if it's just wanting the attention of my wife at ungodly hours, bro, check yourself.
I said ungodly hours.
No, but it's true though.
It's true. If you want,
you know what, yeah? While we're here, what is an ungodly hour to you for a man that's supposedly your wife's best friend to call? What is the cutoff time here? Let's go around and answer that question. What's the cutoff time here?
Oh, man, I can't put a time to it, man.
Yeah,
I can't put a time to it because I can't put time to it.
Me personally, yeah, I would expect the person to be smart with like. Of course, like most couples, nighttime is their time with their partners, right? So like at 10, 11 o'clock, if you're belling off my wife, what is so important I have to actually speak to her at that time for? Do you get it? Like as you mentioned, yeah, like there's cases where there might be, you know, some form of like emergency. But man, at our age now, what is so important that you have to speak to my wife about?
Obviously, there's
yeah.
You get it? Hence what I'm saying, like, there has to be.
You can't put age on matters, bro.
Yeah, because what I will say is, yeah, if
you can't put age on matters, Charles. You can't,
because
that person to be sensible with how they're going on about things.
But let me
I hear that.
But it depends though, because. Yeah. Depends though, because for all you know, your wife your wife is associated very close to the church that she's going. So she might do all the media stuff. She's in the choir. Do you know what I'm saying? So people will call her sometimes at ungodly hours because things need to get done for the church. No, it's Mark Charles. It's not different. It's not different. Do you know why? Because
right now, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because he's leading a group of people, right? And he's supposed to make himself available. Right. So someone like Daniel, for instance, right, his wife will understand that, okay, I'm marrying a man who has this role. Do you get it? So just in case, someone calls them at, some random time, his wife has the understanding that that's part of his job that he's doing.
Okay, wait. Okay, so hold on, wait. Let me put this to you then, because if we're talking about our presiding elder right now, yeah, that's here right now. If a church member calls him, at ungodly hours to talk about their marriage problems, is that different to their best friend calling and doing the same thing, but they're not part of his church?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because you can't say that someone's partner should be understanding to one person because of where they are in terms of their life, what they got going on. If that person, let's say this person is not a church member of the church that the other partner's going to, but they have issues and they're calling it a godly hour, it's the same exact thing. You can't tell one person, you can't accept one person's problem, and then not taking the other person's problem. That's exactly. A bit.
This is different. Let me tell you why it's different.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It's not the same because that one person, that's not part of the bubble, should I say, that the wife is looking after. That person is just calling for their own, like, it's just like their own need, like in terms of just, it could be, yes, like they need help here, but I'm thinking, that this person, I'm trying to get...
No, do you know why? Do you know why you can't answer? Because the person you're talking about that's calling from church, bro, their angle could be mad. Their angle could be crazy. Their angle could be worse than the angle of the best friend.
That's the only thing. You can't judge it, but at least you know that they're calling from church and they're calling
but you don't.
But which one's more risky, though? Which one's more risky, fam?
Yeah, which one's more risky, bro? Yeah.
This is why I'm saying it's a very touchy subject because if my wife has a phone call from a church member who's got issues regarding their marriage, bro, I'm easy in it. I'm not going to start saying, don't pick up the phone, this and that. Take the call, listen to what the person's got to say, and then obviously she will tell me.
That's different.
if
not putting your wife every single time.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying every single time. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't cancel the best friend because they've got a past with our partner in terms of being, you know, a best friend or, you know, what they've gone through together. That the person that's calling from church, their angle could be worse. That angle was mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you really got to think of. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Charles gets you, but Charles was very like.
I don't fully agree.
But even at that same point, that's the whole reason why I would say that your partner should have a opposite sex best friend. Because then if you ain't got no best friend, then you have to deal with any of them issues at all. Everybody's classed as a friend. Everyone gets dashed off when it gets to 8 o'clock. They know not to call after that time. If you got issues,
8 o'clock, you know.
At 8 o'clock early.
Not writing. Unless it's family, like Danny's saying, unless it's a sister or a brother. And this one, we want blood. We don't want the Christian brothers, Christian sisters. That's what we want peace of mind, did it? You know what's there.
I mean, like, okay. Just to round up my point, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't believe that there should be a complete cutoff. That's not what I'm saying.
Thank God.
Hey,
restrictions.
if you watch the beginning of this show, this guy was saying,
this guy was...
He said there's levels to this, bro. He said there's levels.
But, okay, so like, my conclusion is there should be restrictions.
Okay.
Get it?
Okay.
And I feel like the reason why maybe I have a problem, more of a problem, is because we're labeling it as the best friend when I'm supposed to be the best friend. Right? So like, if maybe like we was to change the term best friend and be like, oh, a close friend from long time. I'll register better.
Right.
Get it? But when you say best friend, bro, your partner is your best friend. Like, that's how
you can have more than one best friend, though.
See it as well. What do you say,
you
Kay?
can have more than one best friend, didn't
You
it?
can't have more than one best friend, bro. No.
What are you talking about?
This guy don't want us to finish, bro. He don't want us to finish.
Bro, Kay, like, grew up, I'm sure that you grew up in a circle, right?
Yeah.
Would you say you're close to all your friends in your circle the same way?
What?
No. Obviously, I've got levels. Obviously, I've got levels.
Exactly. Like,
that's still my circle, though, isn't it? That's still my circle. If someone was to see us on the street, or if someone was like, "Oh, is that your best friend?" I'll be like, "Yeah, that's my boy. Like, that's my best friend." Like, but obviously, if there's still levels to best friends, isn't it? At the same time,
exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Like I use myself an example. I'm in a group of people where like, I feel like this person is a close friend, but I know for a fact that there will be one or two in that circle that I am more closer to than the rest.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
And from the outside, people see us and be like, "Oh, them and they are tight." Right? We are tight, but there's levels to this. That's why I don't believe that you can have more than one best friend. You can have more than one people that you're close to, that you're comfortable sharing information with. Do you get it? In terms of that one best friend is that person that basically knows everything about you, like literally from head to toe. Hence why that person becomes your wife, right? So to me, if my wife is now using that term for another man, do you get it? Like, that's what I'm thinking.
But it's just a terminology, bro. You're a husband. You have your lane, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're a husband. That is a superior cause. Like, you have your lane, bro.
Master females are emotional. You know, they're doing this best friend stuff, you know.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why she can't have a best friend.
Comparing you to the best friend indirectly. They'll be comparing you. Say you do something wrong, they'll be like, "Oh."
Okay, but see it this way though. Anyway, regardless, right? People evolve, right? So that best friend is single now. When they get married, they're gonna have their best friend. Then what do you become?
Yeah.
So really and truly, it's more like, bruh, I understand. I think the terms, but for me personally, I don't really be like, that's my best friend. Like, I found it a bit primary school term. I can't lie to you. But that's like my people. That's my close friends. So I don't really know anyone that's really our age group that's been like, that's my best friend. Like, it's 2020, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right, but cool. I have people that I'm very close with. They're very close. And my wife is close to them as well because I'm close with them.
Yeah. What you tend to find is when you get married anyway, their friends become your friends. Your friends that you come into the marriage with become their friends as well. So obviously there's a lot more maturity to it as well. Yeah, everyone becomes the people's. You know what I'm saying? Everyone comes together, celebrates birthdays together and all that. So what's our conclusion, lads? So what's our conclusion? So can your partner have a male best friend or what? What's the question? What's the answers?
Charles, let Charles go.
What you say? Yes or no? Yes or no? She can have one.
No, like it's not a straight yes or no because break down a bit. I'll feel comfortable with them having a male friend. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But they have boundaries, right? Have boundaries. And obviously, like I can't go into the boundaries because we're about to round off here. But I can't automatically tell my wife to stop talking to every male friend in her life there before me. You know, that's unfair. But it's just respect me by setting boundaries in it. That's just what it is. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Webbs, what are you saying? Webbs?
I believe that it's fine for your partner to have a male best friend because I believe that before you get married, you should get to know the people that are closest to your partner. And the moment you step into marriage, the boundaries are automatically set because those people would have seen how you interact with your wife in person if they're around you. If there's boundaries that need to be set, that's where your partner should stamp their foot and do that for themselves because they have a best friend. You don't need to go over there and start telling people that you can't call at this time and you can't text at this time. I don't believe there's no need for that because automatically, as you get married and, you know, people will then understand that, you know, this person's not available at this time. This person's not available to do this for me. So maybe there's someone else I have to holler at because they have a partner. It's as simple as that for me. So, for me, can I just say, and for me, I don't think all my advice is maybe the best advice for my wife. I will say that as well, because someone else's advice might be better for my wife than mine.
Good. And sometimes that best friend is saving your marriage.
Because your behavior. Exactly. Because Charles, what you need to understand is, your wife had a different upbringing than you, which means the people around her would understand her to a certain extent, which means when you wasn't together or when you didn't meet, there's certain things she went through that, you know, their best friend might have the best answers to. So if they're going through something, cool, you can give them advice. That's not an issue, but your advice might not be the best advice. And like Daniel just said, your best friend's advice could save your marriage if something goes wrong, because they're basically in your corner helping you out because they know that person too. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't think you're understanding the
Charles hears us. He's hearing us.
No, look, listen. As I said,
your pastor,
bro. Like, we were all advised, bro. You guys told me before we all got married, we were all advised that your problems within your marriage shouldn't leave your home. Not even your parents shouldn't even know like about these things.
But it's okay to say to your pastor.
You know, the pastor should be the last resort. Try and sort it out. So to me, even going to tell my best friend, it's not, bro, because my best friend is laying down with their wife if they have a wife.
Wait. Can I just say it might just say we're talking about problems, It's not always problems, you know. Sometimes it's a bit of advice to know, you know, what a man likes, or you know what should I help him get for their birthday, or you know where should.
Nothing wrong with that, but as I said, boundaries. You know, like I said, I'm not gonna be like stop talking to all the guys in your life. Cool, have your male friends. I don't even like to use the term best friends. Male friends.
people.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that term because I believe male best friends can be more dangerous than a male best friend. And that's why I'm going to leave that because
what you mean?
A male's friend's angle could be worse than a male's best friend's angle. That's all I'm going to say.
It's even the same with the girls as well. If the girl's got a girl best friend, but that best friend has been single for years, you know she's not going to be promoting the marriage in general. So it's like it can be toxic on both sides. So we already know how that one. So yeah, no, it's tricky on both sides. So I think like what everyone's saying, obviously for some of us it sounds like they can have a best friend. For some of them, maybe they can have close friends and stuff like that. But there needs to be boundaries in other ones. But so far as it works for your marriage and they're not causing you problems, then I guess they can have friends in it.
But I think it's healthy for your partner to have the opposite sex as a close friend. I think it's very healthy.
Boundaries.
I don't know about healthy, but moving on swiftly, Daniel. What?
I'm like in the notion of Charles and Weber. I believe that
I think we're in the same place.
These are people that you've grown up with, and you know the Bible talks about by their fruits you know them, and these are people that you tested their fruits. Like you can really validate that this person really has your best interests at heart. I would have no problem if that person has a problem with my wife. Then I can't. But if that person is like my wife, that we're all like basically a family now, I'm okay with that. Of course, I'm okay with that. And like Weber said, it's true. Sometimes when you're at home, your person that you're with can't even see where you're coming from. So it's good to get. I'll be more comfortable than speaking to someone I know that I've grown up with, has the best interests at heart, than speak to a stranger, right? That doesn't even know me. That doesn't know my strengths.
Pastor is a stranger.
I'll be real. A pastor can be a stranger, fam.
So it all depends on the relationship, innit?
Right. And for me, in that aspect, I think it really helps. It brings a good balance and it brings a dynamics. But if that best friend is trying to run the relationship, is trying to tell you what you like, and is trying to rub it in front of your wife and all of that, those people gotta go. Like Charles is saying, that's not even a boundary matter. Just go. Just go. So that's
cut that toxic stuff out.
Yeah, I'm more like 70% on Weber's and 30% a bit with Charles. Yeah.
What? 30% of my team? Bro, now you might have played with fire, fam.
Playing fire, innit? Like,
this whole relationship that you guys are talking about, you're playing with fire, you know.
Nah, man, I'm not playing with fire because
every journey is different, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's opinion's different. This is why we do this. This is why we have these conversations, you know, to give people perspective of people's different opinion. And hopefully today's episode that was filmed at home during lockdown, I know people at home.
We are obeying the rules. We're obeying the rules.
Thanks for watching, innit? Tell them the sound out, innit?
Yeah, obviously, thanks for tuning in. Like we said, we're going to keep giving you content even through a lockdown because that's what we're here to do, giving you our opinions, our matters, things about marriage. Take it in, tell a friend to tell a friend, like, subscribe, share, post it everywhere because, we give you that little something different than the other people do.
Love.
Cool. Peace.
Take care.